Ladies and gents, I'm Papa Smoke, and thank you for joining me on the House of Smoke YouTube channel and social media. Okay, so today's we're doing a Dark Work special. The Dark Work special today is going to cover curses, hexes, and jinxes. The reason I'm bringing this Dark Work special out to you is there are a number of wannabe edgelord types out there that think they're bad and think that they're good at throwing these sort of things around when they basically couldn't manifest a fart in a baked bean factory. Also, I see a number of baby witch training places on TikTok showing like how to do sort of like baneful jars against people, but they're showing you how to do these baneful jars incorrectly so they will not manifest or they'll most likely backfire. Yeah, now I'm not going to do any how-tos on this one, yeah? I'm just going to basically explain to you the core principles of dark works, yeah? We'll mention a few of them, yeah? And then we'll pull out claiming false credit and stuff like that, yeah? As part of the mind games and magic fuckery that comes along with this dark work, yeah? Okay, so let's begin. So, dark works themselves is split up usually into three categories, or as we understand it in Voodoo, into three categories, yeah? You've got your curses, you've got your hexes, and you've got your jinxes, yeah? These are all negative baneful works, yeah? All negative baneful works designed to work in different ways and bring about different results and different downfalls to your target, yeah? So let's start with curses, yeah? Curses are your most unusual animal out of the three. The reason being is it's the most long-term animal out of the three. And also, curses themselves can be applied to a generation or a whole family, which basically allows that to stay on even more long-term. So a curse, usually with it being a long-term thing, yeah, will be something that sets on it takes quite a while to set on. Yeah, and it takes quite a while to fizzle out. And like I said, if it's generational, it might last the whole of a person's life and start affecting descendants and offspring and ancestors and stuff like that. Do you get me? Curses themselves, yeah, they're usually buried. Yeah, you don't usually burn a curse because when you usually burn a dark work, it comes on quick and comes off quick. Yeah, so with curses, you would usually bury them or bury them at sea because you would like it to degrade slowly and set on your target slowly. Now, curses have a plethora of ways they can affect you. They can do things like cause health problems, do things like cause physical accidents and stuff like that, or they can do things like affect areas of your life like financial problems and stuff like that, or love life problems and stuff like that. Yeah, curses can be quite negative, like I says, although they can just be an abundance of shitty luck that builds up all the way through someone's life. Yeah, with the generational curse as well, you can also work it to get worse. The older it gets. Yeah. You can work it to get worse the older it gets. Now, just as a side note here, the House of Smoke does offer curses, yeah, but we do not offer generational curses. The reason we do not offer generational curses is we don't want to directly or indirectly affect any children or any innocent members of anyone's family. Yeah. Okay, so we do not offer generational curses at the House of Smoke, but we will curse the shit out of your enemies for you. Yeah. So let's move on to hexes. What's a hex? Hex is your most dangerous aspect of the dark work, yeah? A hex is something that comes on quick and sets off quick, but it's usually extremely violent, and it usually has an extremely fiery impact. As a result, when we dispose of a hex, we usually burn it, because we want to offset it on quick and for it to fizzle out quickly. One of the only kind of hexes that we don't really burn is if we do a sour jar for physical pain, physical illness. However, with a sour jar being buried and it can take a while to onset, you could argue that's a curse. However, some people do sour jars for quick physical pain and quick physical things. Yeah. So, with hexes are usually designed to do devastating things. This is where you usually get your falls down the stairs, or in my case, when a target fell through the roof of his house and through both floors, or your car crashes and things like this. Your casket curses and burn a bitch at the stake hex, yeah, they're both hexes. I know it's called a casket curse, but it's actually a hex. They're potentially lethal. They're designed to cause accidents, extreme health problems, anything to cause pain and suffering quickly. And it'll come off quickly as well, but it'll be usually a devastating things like your broken limbs, intraction, life-threatening stuff. Yeah, hexes are pretty nasty animals, and like I said, they come on quick, bomb you and offset quick, yeah? But usually, when they've offset you, you are changed either physically, mentally, psychologically, or all three, yeah, in ways that it will be very hard to fix, yeah? Hex is an extremely dangerous animal, and it's what most of these edgelord magicians try and throw about when they try and hire demons to curse their enemies. They try and throw these about, dropping names like King Paimon and Lilith and stuff like that, trying to throw these things about, and then their targets are still standing, and even in better circumstances than they were when the curse was thrown. Anyways, let's move on. Next one, Jinx, yeah? Jinx is the most minor out of them all, to be honest with you. Jinx is the most minor out of them all, and all the Jinxes is just basically an amalgamation of shitty luck. Yeah, so basically this is your kind of things like your lost wallets, your lost bus pass, late for work and get put on last warnings and stuff like that, you know, just bad luck stuff, lost mobile phones, all sorts of stuff like that, minor trips, slips and falls with minor injuries, but nothing really like life-threatening or life-changing, and nothing too bad in terms of shitty luck. Yeah, it might affect your finances similar to a curse does, but it probably won't affect them long term. You'll probably just have a couple of broke months rather than be destitute. Do you get me? So hexes again are jinxes again are disposed of just like hexes, yeah? Basically, you burn them because you want them to onset quickly and offset quickly, yeah? So you want them to hit your target quickly, drop the shitty luck on them, have a laugh about it, and then it's off them, yeah? Then it's off them. Usually you use these on people that have done like minor PG off, as opposed to people that really deserve messing up. People really deserve messing up, then we use things such as hexes. So this is the different kinds of categories of dark work, yeah? Now, what a lot of people don't understand when they do these dark works out there is there are certain rules that these dark works follow, yeah? For one, there's the law of concealment, which I've done a video on, yeah? Do not let your target see your work, otherwise it is undone. For every pair of eyes that is not yours that sees you doing the work, the impact is diminished, yeah? That's applicable in about 99% of dark works. Yeah, so when edgelords make videos, or wannabe edgelords make videos and say stuff like, this is aimed at John Smith and he's going to get in, 100,000 people watch that, yeah? It's already weak as all. And then when John Smith watches it, it's been taken off, yeah? Edgelords do this all the time. They make these videos about throwing curses, and they make these videos publicly because they're trying to get under the skin of their enemy, but they're also trying to garner support from their enemies' enemies. Yeah, they're also trying to look big and bad and powerful and strong and look at me, I can fight Vaudouissance and stuff like that. They're trying to do that in public and stuff like that. But what they don't realise, yeah, is we people that are trained in this, yeah, when we see those things publicly, we think that's hilarious. Yeah, because of the law of concealment. Basically, they've just wasted their resources, their time, and made themselves look like an idiot in front of all of the world by not following the most simplest rule, which is the law of concealment, yeah? Now, there's another rule for curses, hexes, and jinxes, yeah? If you're using things such as jars, yeah? If you're using things such as jars or poppets, yeah? A jar itself represents your target's whole microcosm, yeah? So whatever you put in the jar is whatever manifests in your target's microcosm, yeah? This is where the baby witch thing's wrong, yeah? Because I saw a curse jar where this baby witch, she put a load of stuff in a jar, yeah? And then she puts a black tourmaline in there. Black tourmaline repels negative energy. So basically you're putting things in there to repel the negative energy out of the customer's microcosm, out of the target's microcosm. Yeah. Seen another one where they put black obsidian or black onyx in there. Again, they absorb negative energy. So what you're doing is putting things in their microcosm to absorb that energy you're throwing at them. Yeah. So following these baby witches, just because a crystal's black, for example, doesn't mean it's perfect for a curse work. Yeah, usually like black obsidian, black onyx, and black tourmaline are protective and will be counter to the intention of a curse work. Yeah, so when you put that inside a jar, inside someone's microcosm, as well as trying to harm them, you're inadvertently protecting them from the harm you're trying to cause. Yeah, so don't follow baby witches on TikTok, man. It's just some stupidness. Yeah. When you use poppets, it's not like the movies. You don't just go and all of a sudden my arm's broken. No. In poppets, there are certain things you do. Where you do insert certain pins, those pins don't blind you or cause heart attacks. They just stop, you see, spiritually seeing what's being done to you and stop you recovering from it, yeah? The puppet itself represents your target's body, your target's whole body. So what you put inside that puppet and what you do to that puppet spiritually, yeah, will manifest in that target, but it won't manifest fully physically, as in if you stick a blade in it, they're not going to get shanked, yeah? There's certain things you got to do. Yeah, you've got to understand these works. You've got to really understand these works before you start throwing them. Otherwise, you'll have to hire a professional, someone like myself. Someone like myself who's been cursed by, 21 different people, and I'm still standing. The latest person to attempt to curse me, I laugh at you. I'm actually now in much better surroundings, living a lavish lifestyle. Things are moving along better for me. I'm getting my driving lessons taken care of. I've got a lovely lady friend coming to see me in a couple of months. All sorts of stuff like that. My life's getting better. So what I'm trying to say on the end of this video is don't believe these false gurus, yeah? All these people that come across with all these fucking grandiose claims like, I am the son of Lilith, or I am an actual god, and I am Lucifer incarnate, or stuff like that, or I am the Djinnic king, King Paimon's best friend. Don't believe them. Because they start saying that and start recording these public things and start saying they're throwing all these curses at man and stuff, yeah. But man's actually in better situation than he was, stood on his own 2 feet, healthier, happier, prettier, much better and in better circumstances, yeah. Right? Instead of actually listening to idiots, yeah, just because they got a few thousand subs and that, instead of actually listening to idiots and moving nowhere in your magical path, why don't you listen to the man they can't drop, the Papa of Smoke? They call me the Papa of Smoke for a reason, because I'm hella good at dark work. Because I'm hella good at dark work. So this has been curses, hexes and jinxes. Now, with curses, hexes and jinxes, there are certain rules, like I said. Symbology. Casket curse, yeah? Casket curse, you put a puppet of a person in a casket, yeah? That puppet's baptised as that person, you put it in a casket. You're saying to the Lua or the spirits, yeah? I want him dead. Same with the burn a bitch at the stake curse, yeah? These are symbolic acts. It's the same with the curse where you take the clay golem and you put the chicken's heart inside the clay golem and you bake it so it's hard, yeah? And you smash it up and burn it. And then, basically what you're doing there is you're saying to the spirits, I want you to smash this person and destroy them. So you have to sort of act symbolically in the way you want things to happen. Yeah. Again, other rules involved, like I said, the law of concealment, there's ajars, there's symbology, there's disposal, yeah? So how do you dispose of your dark work? Well, you can either burn, bury it, or bury it at sea, yeah? With a hex, you would usually burn it because you want it to offset on quickly and come off quickly. With a jinx, you would usually burn it because you want it to offset on quickly and come off quickly. With a curse, you'd usually bury it or bury it at sea because you want it to take its time to fizzle on and build up to a peak and then take its time to fizzle off or to stay on permanently. However, the general rule of thumb is you can burn or bury all curse, hexes and jinxes. It just, might not manifest as quickly or as in the same way. Yeah, they might manifest in different ways. They might manifest stronger in some cases, weaker in other cases, quicker in some cases, longer in other cases, yeah? It's just basically a matter of how do you want that particular thing to impact your client, yeah? Right, so I've got a few minutes left, so I'm going to talk about another thing, yeah? The use of venoms and poisons, yeah? In Vodou, yeah, and in Haiti itself, there's a lot of poisoners. People get poisoned all the time, yeah? Right? There's a lot of physical poisoning. In Magick, we can actually use those poisons to affect the body and to make illnesses happen by doing jar works and puppet works where they're spiritually exposed to the spirits of these poisons, to the spirits of these toxics and venoms, yeah? And this causes illnesses within people, causes pain within people. One of my favourites is hornet stings. Hornet stings on a cucumber curse cause a man's manhood to be extremely painful when they get aroused. Yeah, it's one of my favourite ones. Anyway, this has been a Dark Work special. Hit me up if you need any sort of curses, hexes or jinxes doing, yeah, on your targets. I've got a number of results. I've got more results than anyone out there. Anyone out there from the left-hand path, anyone that claims to be like serve Lilith or serve King Paimon or serve Arimon or serve Azza, I've got more actual client results than the lot of them. Yeah, than the lot of them, yeah. There's only one Vaudouissant in the world that's got more client results than me, yeah. I ain't dropping his name on here, but there's only one Vaudouissant in this world, yeah. It's got more client results than me, and it's hella more expensive, yeah. Right, so this has been Curses, Hexes, and Jinxes. Don't do anything I won't do, which ain't the right lot. Hit me up to drop your enemies, people. Peace.